Hey guys, this is Dipendra Chantel. So I'm on the computer information security and assurance major. So this is my third semester with the summer, and it's been a pleasure taking this class throughout this pandemic. Hopefully all of you are staying safe. So the topic I chose here today is increasing cybersecurity risk and how to mitigate them. At first I was trying to go for the worms and virus, the defending against them, but then I spoke with you, Dr. Mona, and we come up on this agreement. So the reason I chose this topic is because this talks about cybersecurity and how things are pertinent to real world right now with every advancement and development. Just things are more on the brink of more and more sensitive with data losses, data breaches, and so many things happening. So security has been a very important topic in the recent world, even during this pandemic situation. So that's the reason I chose this topic. Now, a little background here is that here, we are all working from home. So definitely there are some of the practice and habits that we have to keep in mind about putting in some of the sensitive information aside, such as, let's say I'm working from home myself. I work in the finance industry as a financial advisor, and someone like myself have a lot of access when I connect to my workstation from here via virtual network. So in there, a lot of clients' account information, social number, date of birth, and all those sensitive information are going to be in the grasp of my hands. So definitely I got to use some of this practice measure, which we are trained as often, and we are send communication every day. But then it's obvious that there is a lot of room for improvement for everyone. While I try my best, and I'm sure everyone is trying their things from their end, from their jobs security and I guess safety requirement, it's always been noticed in the cybersecurity industry that human has been the biggest threats out there, be it the victim, be it the hacker, or just a normal consumers like myself or you as a viewer. So that's why I found this topic very important, and I guess thanks to my previous courses, so this is a pretty valuable lesson I think I have learned. And every now and then I often use this conversation or bring up this topic while talking with my clients, just to build up the rapport and all that, which works very well. So that's a bit of a background, and I'll be giving you some examples and stuff, with how, where we stand. Now, that's here. First, I have a few topics here: cybersecurity, digital risk, phishing, and I should say, some worms and human error. So pretty much, I think I briefly touched base on some of those, but main example I want to provide you here is Equifax breach. Sure, you all have heard of that back in 2017. That was one of the prime example with how one teeny error from human can actually get into impacting the lives of 143 million consumers. So that's how bad it was back then. And doing the research and everything in there, even though they were not very verbal or outspoken about their report, I guess they have to save their reputation and whatnot. But with everything, all the analysis and everything, one thing that they agreed there was that there was a little Apache Stratus that they use to actually have their Java program running, and the vendor, the original issuer, were actually already warning them about some of the patch that needed to be ran on that, but they were just not very seriously taking it, and they just held off on applying that, due to which the information got compromised, and the hackers were able to get access of those 143 million consumers' data, so social number, date of birth, bank accounts, credit cards, and many more. So that was a prime example. Now, other one I wanted to provide you here is one from Sony. That is the breach in 2011. That was with the PlayStation, and one was back in 2014. So Sony had a pretty rough year between, during those time. Back in 2011, it was with the PlayStation, where people were kind of, the users were complaining that they were unable to get into their usual web and information, or usual, I guess, login issues. And later, after some research and some incident response teams analysis, it came down that their information actually got compromised, and over 77 million users were affected then. with their name, date of birth, password, credit cards, and some of the sensitive information getting in the hands of wrong eyes, the estimated loss was about $24 billion. So that was the first, and 2014 was where it was pretty much, the speculators assumed that the hack, or that the breach happened in response to the famous James Franco movie, The Interview, where it's shown that a couple of peoples are actually in there to assassinate the North Korean leader, or at least up to my extent. I mean, I'm not so much into the movies, but that's what that's what the movie was about. Spoiler alert, okay? And that's when, even though the Koreans, they did not actually, never took ownership on this one, neither they defied, if they were directly involved in there. At the end, North Korean did put the tag in there saying it was the righteous deed of North Korean supporters for Sony's wrongdoing. And those hackings allowed information to the sensitive conversation between executives, the directors, even the big celebrities and all that, with how much what they were talking behind their back, all the sensitive private conversation, their salary information, how much someone got paid, and so many more. That got them up to the estimated loss at that time was it's $50 million, but it's still climbing. So just the way that I'm providing you these examples is just to let you know that these big companies out there like Experian, Equifax, Sony, these are some big companies out there, and obviously, I mean, they do have a lot of people working for them. They have a lot of security practices and safety measures in alignment, but still, there is that big human factor that makes a gap in there to actually, make the world vulnerable, and having these risk factors, important every day to be implemented. So these are some. Now, we'll be talking about some of the factors with mitigating cybersecurity risk, okay? So some of the examples I provided here was with the human negligence error, as well as how, some of the digital attacks is coming in the way. And a couple of these topics about phishing and something we will be talking about here briefly in the mitigating risk part, okay? So for mitigating the cybersecurity risk, I have chosen a couple of the softwares in here. The first one I have chosen is NGFW, that stands for Next Generation Firewall. And as opposed to some of the traditional firewall, what it does is that it combines those traditional firewall with other network device filtering functions, such as application firewall using inline deep packet inspection, also called intrusion protection system. That's kind of how it goes. Now here's the picture I want to show. Okay, not this one. So this is how it works, and all right, let me zoom this in a little bit just so you guys can see. All right, so this is the internet, and there in between here, this is how the next generation firewall, is aligned here, as you can see clearly. So there's the firewall, and then there's some of these things here with IP reputation, anti-bots, and IDS systems. I mean, they will be analyzing the data based of those, and then if they get a green check, yes, they're gonna go to user. If there is any kind of mix-ups or or any kind of suspicion that arises here, it's gonna send it back, saving the everyday users like ourselves. So that's the first one. Now, here's the other one. Okay, my computer is giving up on me. Bear with me here. All right, no problem. So next one I was gonna show was the honey nets. Okay, this is the general picture here. That's my other example. All right, bear with me here. All right, yep. So honey nets, these are the network of high interaction honeypots. Okay, honeypots is a security mechanism that is set to detect, deflect, and counteract attempts of unauthorized use of system. Now, honeypots, so honey nets, these are network of high interaction honeypots that simulates a production network, and configures such that all activity is monitored, recorded, and discreetly regulated. So that's how honey nets, work. and how honeypots are applied in there, like the literal honeypot, the thing for honey. I know everyone, I guess, loves honey. Okay, so there is the attacker in this picture, and there is the honeynet in there. Okay, and then there's the potential victim, which can be everyday users like ourselves. Now the implementation of honeynet on this one, the attacker is redirected to another honeypot in here to just to analyze how things are coming from the attacker, and whether they are in alignment or if there is any kind of red flag, and if there is any, then it will block it to get to the potential victim. That's the nature of how it works. Now, other example I was going to give you earlier was with the phishing. So this is just a little bit of a graph in here that I wanted to show. Phishing, okay, so I hope everyone likes to fish. It's the summer, but this is not F-I, it's P-H-I-S-S-I-N-G, and that's a different, and it's a very sensitive term in context of cybersecurity. So these are very important topic here as far as it comes with saving oneself and computer security and such. So these are pretty much, as you can see, like you can get a fake email claiming, okay, they are from your bank customer service people, they are from IRS, they are from, I don't know, Nigeria, and then they're going to set you a genuine looking like a website. They will have you click on something there that says, okay, claim your prize, and then they will just want you to enter your personal information. And this happens to very best of us, that we fall into those traps, and then we end up giving them our personal information, which is going to cost us pretty badly after it gets in their hands. So phishing, that's what it is. And as you can see from this picture, yet again, you can see compared to other, this is the unpatched vulnerabilities. There is something with SQL injection. The hacktivist originated attacks, as you can see in the list in here. These are the ones. And phishing, I guess, shocker, phishing is on the top of everything here. So guys, if you are getting such emails, and if anything sounds not correct or doesn't sound like like there's a gut feeling that you have, always go with your guts, because you are right. Better to be safe than sorry. That's kind of how it goes. So there are something with antivirus and firewall softwares that I provided some examples here. Some of them are 360 Security, Kaspersky, Avast, Avira, Malwarebytes. So pretty much the difference from these, with in comparison with the traditional antivirus and firewalls, is that the chosen ones here, they have a built-in firewalls, that monitor online browsing activities, blocks any suspicious, looking websites, and keep tracks of them and blocks you against them. So definitely these are some of the examples I have provided. And regardless, I have also emphasized here that human errors are definitely the one that comes on the top there as well. So it's better, it's definitely, it's emphasized here everywhere that you gotta be safe. Next is with keeping an eye on the latest phishing method. We just went over that, okay? And to conclude here, phishing attacks, there is digital attacks, everything like, kind of in the rising upward trend, pretty stiff. So human error, everything is on the front line here. So be safe out there, and let me know if you have any other questions. But at the end of the day, yeah, human error is being on the top trend here. And I'm not sure if you guys have heard someone named Kevin Mitnick. He is my favorite, by the way. I learned with about that guy in one of my early classes, and yeah, he was one of them who actually found so much fun in tackling these everyday security walls, security fences, that he literally, like, no one could beat him. And eventually, like, he did his jail time, and right now I think he's working as an independent consultant and such. But definitely he's just one of the prime examples. There are many more, many unknown faces, in their basement or hiding somewhere, who are actually like trying to constantly get into information. So safety habits, human practice, and human error. So those are some of the biggest I guess threats right now lying in the cybersecurity. All right.